Now, the Da Vinci Institute for Technology Management in Johannesburg will be honoring the world's youngest professor, Professor Soborno Isaac Bari. Bari specializes in maths and science, and according to reports, the 9-year-old Asian American started solving PhD level questions at 3 years old. He's also an author and has been nominated for a Nobel Prize. The young professor joins us now via Zoom, as well as the chairman of Da Vinci Institute, Sechaba Motsielwa. Thank you to both of you for joining me. Let me start with you, Professor Isaac Bari. I mean, you are the youngest professor in the world. You are an author. You got your first salary, I understand, at the age of 7. You've received a letter from Barack Obama for your accomplishments in maths and science. That's amazing stuff. You know how crazy that is?
And I am excited to be here on national news. And I am honestly so honored to be here, to be receiving the Laureate Award from such a prestigious institution, and to be in a country with such a rich culture.
Yeah, and you are passionate about education. Tell me about your passion for education, especially mathematics.
So I had this passion when I was younger, 1 or 2 maybe, and because back then my father was a math and physics student. He was still pursuing a PhD, and he was writing all these equations down on the blackboard in the same room that I was laying down. And so I would be seeing him writing all these equations, and I would be thinking, what do they mean? I had this fascination with this kind of thing. And sometimes he even did experiments. And I was extremely, fascinated. What do these experiments mean? I was extremely fascinated by the amount of creative capacity, the imaginative capacity that you needed in order to be able to do some things like math and science. And I was thinking, what do these symbols mean on the blackboard? And so my father saw my fascination with this kind of creativity, this kind of, imagination and experimentation. And my father decided to start teaching me math. And I have this passion for mathematics and science still. And it really is just playing with the numbers and geometric transformations and things like that. It's really just playing with the quantities and seeing what you can get. It's really just the art of creativity. And there were many geniuses who have created equations like recursive equations just by playing around with numbers and seeing what they can get. So I was really fascinated with the creative capacity and so what math and science was. And so that's why I was really got into math and science. Yeah. Like I couldn't get into other things like history or maybe things like that. And so that is why I really love the math and science, for its creativity.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's fascinating. Mr. Motsielwa, as the Da Vinci Institute, why have you decided to honor this youngest professor in the world?
Thank you very much, Clement. What Professor Bari represents and symbolizes is the hope of a new way of being. As the youngest professor in the world, with interest in the field of mathematics as well as science, he does inspire a generation that can look at using science and maths to solve new complex problems. So we're going to be giving him the Da Vinci Institute Laureate Award that recognizes social architects, a rare breed of individuals that are able to change how we frame who we are as a society and to make sure that we do have a sustainable society going forward. So it's an honor from the Da Vinci Institute to have Professor Bari being honored this evening at the PhD graduation.
Yeah. So Professor Bari, tell me about what your day-to-day life is like. I mean, you are young. I mean, younger than 10. Your peers are probably playing outside now. Do you get the time to also be a child and play when you are not learning and teaching maths and science?
Well, I feel like playing is something that even geniuses get to do. Recreation is something that even the best of the best need sometime one or another. And so, yes, I do recreate sometimes. Of course I do. I mean, everybody has to. I think that scared if you don't recreate because you are not training your social skills, and you're missing out the chance to exercise, and you honestly are not just going outside and playing and relaxing. And that kind of thing isn't necessary. Even everywhere you need to be recreative, and also really gets you energetic when you do that kind of thing. So I played chess, I play basketball, I bike, and of course I recreate and play games. So I think that it's very important to do something like recreation and doing things like that. And sometimes it can make you energetic. And I think that it's honestly just a really weird thing to not do it in general. I don't know who wouldn't do it because I feel like it's just like a necessary thing to be able to play outside, to be able to relax, to be able to let it all out when you're under stress. I think that should be an ability every person should have.
Yeah. I mean, I want to ask you, Prof, what you want to be when you wake up, when you grow up, but already you're a professor, already you are an author, already you are being recognized by credible institutions like the Da Vinci Institute. You have received letters from world leaders like Barack Obama. So what is it that you still want to achieve?
I feel like I have only achieved a small speck of what I want to achieve in my life. Of course, I first want to pursue being a math professor because I want to change the education system and show people that math is not what it's made out to be. Math is rather not just a boring set of equations, but being able to play with numbers, the capacity to be creative, to throw around things like numbers, and to be able to use these kinds of things and connect these ideas in ways that never seemed possible before. To just play around with things and then make advanced inferences from them. And that is what ultimately gets you a great discovery. Just playing around and deciding to make an inference from that kind of thing can get you many places. Many people have discovered equations and been called genius because they had the capacity to create. They had the capacity to imagine new connections. Instead of just going from strict facts, math is just as much facts as it is imagining. So I think that math is just playing around, bound by some rules that can be broken or added to any time. So I feel like math shouldn't be feared, and so I want to become a math professor and show people what their perspective on math should be.
Yeah.
I also want to at least be the leader of at least a state or a country because I want to show the world that peace, empathy, and empathy will get us places we cannot imagine, and that math and science is the things that will get us further than never before. And so I think that it is very important for me to at least pursue being a teacher or telling people that math and science is not what it's made out to be. So I want to pursue a PhD, maybe a degree or two, and I want to pursue being a professor.